Okay, here we are up by the seaside in Palma. Not the nicest boats in the background, but there's a few decent ones. So what we have here is the latest addition to the Sworks SL8. This is a new wheel and tyre combination, and I have gone for the extra light. It's a new wheel set that they brought out. It's a clincher hooked wheel set. It's called the 340C. They've made it 1 mil deeper than before and 1 or 2 mil wider, depends internally or externally, but it's a slightly wider wheel as well. So it matches better with 28 mil tyres, whereas before it was more like a 25, 28 mil tyre kind of thing. Now, what's quite remarkable with these wheels is they've managed to achieve something which has been hitherto extremely difficult to achieve, which is to make a clincher hooked wheel set the same weight, or almost the same weight, as a set of tubular wheels. Now, the reason I've gone with tubular wheels for 25 years, and mainly because it's a very light wheel, and the tires have been good and all the rest of it, but yeah, it's a very light wheel. Now, these ones basically don't give away really anything in terms of weight, and with the advances in tire technology that we've seen in the last sort of 5 years, really, the Tubeless, the sealants, improved rolling resistance, wider tires, the CRR gains, the rolling resistance gains, are now getting a little bit too much for me to ignore. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me to be able to buy a very light wheel set and to adapt the new tire technology to get some watt savings. Yeah, why not? I think it's definitely well worth a try. Now, I signed up for the bicycle rolling resistance website tests, all of €10 for a year, which is well worth it, I think, to support them and what they're doing. And according to them, these Conti GP5000S TR in 28 mil are up there with some of the best CRR tyres that you can find, and that's including time trial tyres. So this is, according to them and according to other studies too, these are some of the lowest rolling resistance tyres that you can get in 28 mil. So you're getting the comfort and the grip and a very low CRR as well. And according to the calculations, compared to the tubs that I had on here, or at least a very similar type of tub to what I had on here, the watt savings are going to be at least 10 watts, because they test at 30 kilometers an hour. So it's 10 watts at 30 kilometers an hour, and potentially, more than that when you're doing 40, because it's a fairly linear loss, the CRR. So the faster you go, the more watts you have to put in to the tire. So yeah, potentially even 15 watts, which is enormous. And the first ride that I've done on this, now I've ridden it only a couple of days, but it feels fast. It feels like the bike there's not a lot holding it back. And I mean, 15 watts, if you suddenly put 15 watts on your FTP, I think you would know about it. And so, yeah, I mean, so far, very promising, comfortable, grip, it's all there. And the weight penalty, really tiny. And I've weighed these wheels with standard disc rotor bolts, just steel ones, and I'll be swapping those for titanium and aluminium like I did before. That'll save about 10 grams per wheel. So, yeah, really very little weight penalty. By the time you add in the fact that Tubulars have tape as well, obviously these have tape too, yeah, there's not a lot in it. So regular viewers to the channel will know that I have had some run-ins with Extra Light with their hookless wheel set that I bought, and I had a Continental tyre pop off it, and it turned out that it was the wheel that was out of spec. It was too small. They were returned to Extra Light, and I got a pair of tubs in exchange, which I still have, been using them. So yeah, should I be giving Extra Light another chance? Maybe not, but I'm a generous kind of guy, so yeah, I am. And the point is, yeah, they had a quality control issue. Hopefully they've taken note of that and that's resolved. But you do have to be absolutely spot on with hookless. Otherwise, the tyre could easily pop off. With hooked, it's not quite such an issue, because the hook is going to be there to retain it. So that's why I don't agree with hookless, because it's you've removed an important safety factor, and just why would you do that? You know, no industry that I know of who really does that, unless there's some massive gain to be had, and there isn't. So yeah, that's my view on hookless. So these are hooked, very light, look good, nice, and I mean 40 mil I think is perfectly deep enough. I think it suits the tarmac very well. I'll be riding them a bit more and reporting back on how things go, but in terms of reliability and longevity, the tubs have the exact same hubs on them. The hubs I think are excellent. They're really a very nice design. They roll very smoothly. So yeah, should have no issues there. The wheels have stayed completely true in 2 years, so that's not an issue either. So yeah, all good. So we're not holding it.
Power pedals.
That's pretty good.